Hi everyone, Charles Michael here. So this is going to be a sort of yearly tradition now. Every February 10th, I'm going to upload a video exactly like the one I uploaded last year, which is this is my Beatles record and video collection video, where I guess I'm just going to sort of update you on the state of my Beatles record collection, because I did get new records. I got a lot of new Beatles records within the past 12 months, so I feel like, this would be pretty cool to do. And, um, so one thing I should mention about that previous video was that it is rife with errors. Like, that video is so full of misinformation that I did not know I was making at the time, and I hope to correct that in this video. And one thing I did, if you'll notice, is I put little sticky notes on all my records that might sort of help, that might sort of aid me in informing you what pressings I really do have, or when they were made, or what kind of release do I have, where it's from, etc. By the way, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to Parlogram Auctions. Like, that dude has a great channel. Go check him out. And so he really taught me a lot about what I know about all the different pressings and stuff. That, and also a website called Discogs. If you're not really cataloging your record collection with Discogs, you really need to do yourself a favor and just do that. It really organizes everything for you, and it tells you how much everything's worth, where it's from, etc. And so we'll go through. As you can see, I did get Please Please Me. So last time I didn't have Please Please Me. Now I do. And as you can see, it's the 2012 repress that they made from the 2009 remasters. The German pressing, which, as you can see, it does say made in Germany here. Alright, with the Beatles, this is indeed an import, and it is indeed an original press. The way that I know is that if you take a look on side 2, track 3, You Really Got a Hold on Me, the Miracles cover, it is Gotta is spelled G-O-T-T-A, whereas the grammatically correct one would be G-O-T space A, Hold on Me. And indeed, in later pressings, you can notice that they do have got instead of gotta, Hold on Me. Okay, now already we're going to get into a bit of messy territory, because in my last video regarding my record collection, I said this is introducing the Beatles, and I think this is an original press. I'm not sure, but I can't really tell the difference between the originals and the bootlegs, but I know that has something to do with whether the boys have shadows behind them or something. I don't know. I do know now. Okay, so this would take me a while, but it is a counterfeit. I had to take that off with my mouth, the tool of wonders. Anyway, so we look at the label of the record itself. We're not going to be stupid. We're going to look at the label. And as you can see, supposedly on true pressings, the spindle hole is in the middle, right? So the Beatles on the genuine pressings is supposed to be above the spindle hole with the album title introducing the Beatles. But here, the word the Beatles is below the spindle hole and the album title is above it. So there you go. That's a counterfeit press for you. Let me just put that back in. Okay, this is Meet the Beatles, and it's a 1976 repress because it has the Gold Record Award sticker on it. But I said something very, very stupid about labels and record labels in the previous video, and we'll have an excerpt of that planned in the now. And the way I can tell is the US releases, they have rainbow labels on the originals, and on the reissues they have purple labels, though sometimes on the originals they have green labels or salmon labels, and that's the case with the Help soundtrack. But that is completely wrong. So, yes, the original pressings from the 60s did indeed have rainbow labels, but then they switched to a green label in, I think, 1969, and then sometime in the 70s they went to the salmon labels, and then in the late 70s, early 80s, they went to the purple labels. So this is a 1976 repress because this is a salmon label capital. Okay, the Beatles' second album. This is an original press and A Hard Day's Night. Now, in the previous video I said Hard Day's Night soundtrack, this is an original press. I don't have the UK counterpart, and I refuse to elaborate further, I guess. So the thing is, this is a 1968 press. Now, I don't know much about the United Artists labels as I do about the Capitol labels, but I put this through Discogs and it said this was a 1968 press at the earliest. I could very well have a later pressing, but it said 1968 at the earliest. Something new. This is an original press. Hear the Beatles Tell All. Okay, so check this out. This is a shaped record. And it is an 80s bootleg. Hear the Beatles Tell All was a record first issued by VJ Records in 1964, and it was really the catalyst for the Beatles story from Capitol, because Hear the Beatles Tell All was apparently the only Beatles record that VJ could not dispute the rights over. VJ had total control over the audio on this record because they recorded it. It's an interview record, and they pretty much owned it. So look at this. And it even says on the back here, it mistakenly says 1974, but Discogs said this was an 80s bootleg, and I'm pretty sure it was 1981 or the early 80s. And the Beatles story is an original press. Gotta love that Sharpie graffiti on it. Okay, Beatles for Sale is the Japanese press from 1970 with no OB strip. An OB strip is a strip of paper that goes around the left side of the record. It's on all Japanese albums, and it sort of signifies like it's new, or, you know, it has information about the album. Sometimes it just has the title of the album on it. But I am not an expert on OB strips, and nor do I claim to be an expert on pressings of Beatles albums, which is why I had to put post-it notes on everything. Beatles 65 is an original press. The early Beatles is an original press. Help is the 2012 repress. We got it at Hastings. Dad got it for me. The Help soundtrack from 1965 is the 1969 press with the green label. As I stated earlier, with the labels. Also, I got a VHS copy of the film, so I thought that was worth mentioning. Beatles 6 is the original press. Sorry about my shaky camera. Okay, this is another one that I got recently. Beatles Greatest was a compilation that was only released in some parts of Europe. Now, this is from Holland or the Netherlands, and I wrote some later pressing because the original pressings have labels that look like this. Show a picture there. And my pressing has a yellow label. But this is a cool compilation, actually. It's got all their earlier stuff and Ticket to Ride, All My Loving, you know, stuff like that. And the Savage Young Beatles, I put this in my 65 section because the original version from Savage Records was indeed issued in 1965, but this is a 2010 repress from, I'm pretty sure it was Lilith Records. Yeah, Lilith Records. And this has the Hamburg recordings, the Polydor recordings. Alright everybody, just thought I'd film a quick update here now that I got it. This is a USSR pressing of Rubber Soul from Anton Records, if you can see it. And as you can see, the entire cover looks different. This was pressed in 1992, right before the Soviet Union fell, and needless to say, I'm happy that I own it now. Rubber Soul, 1965. We have the 80s repress with the purple label. Yeah, okay. This is another one that I got very recently. This butcher cover of Yesterday and Today is a counterfeit. It is not a genuine butcher cover. Someday I will get a butcher cover. Someday. But it has cool orange vinyl, and it's a very recent 2021 counterfeit, actually. I got this in the summer, and it's made to look like the original with the butcher cover. Hey, at least I can say I got a butcher cover, but I'll show you the vinyl because it's so cool. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, look at that. Isn't that... Now, the cool thing about replicating the original release is if you have capital on your label, no one knows who made it. And of course, we have my first Beatles record that I ever got. The original, sort of original press of Yesterday and Today. It says no state because it's a very complicated story, but with butcher covers, there's first state, second state, and third state. I'm not going to explain that all to you, but this is no state because I tried peeling the cover back, and there wasn't a butcher cover under it. Also, sorry, I'm eating. Okay. Revolver is a 2012 repress with the hype sticker present. My sister got this for me from Barnes & Noble, and I have the American one as well. So I have the British one with I'm Only Sleeping, Dr. Robert, Andrew Bird Can Sing on it. And I also have the American one without those tracks. Well, I guess it's for completionist's sake. I am a sort of like obsessive completionist, I guess. Anyway, Sgt. Pepper. This is an original. I think I said that before, but the cool thing about this one is that this is the mono version with the sped up version of She's Leaving Home. And that's literally how the Beatles like intended for Sgt. Pepper to be listened to in mono. And that's the mix that George Martin made that the Beatles themselves approved, because someone else did the stereo mixes in 67, and there was also the 2017 mix, which I don't have. I don't have any of the recent mixes from Giles Martin, but I do have the original mono mix, which is so cool. Magical Mystery Tour, this is the 80s repress, and since I didn't show the book or flip through it in the last episode, I think I'll do you guys a solid. And yeah, I'm eating Gardettos and drinking my... Hold on a sec while I take a sip of my coffee from my Beatles Get Back mug. Look, I don't have the entire book, but we got it in 2 pieces. So this repressed Magical Mystery Tour from the 80s, and then the book was found actually in a flea market, actually. So yeah, and it's got the pictures of the movie and also the cool little comic book illustrations. So cool. What a neat little book. The Beatles had such elaborate packaging for their later albums. I love it. Speaking of which, the White Album. Now, in the last video, I didn't take the poster out, and I regret that, so I'll do you guys a solid again, and I will also take the poster out and show you the giveaway photos. I'm gonna have a really hard time trying to put all this stuff away. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. We have John, Paul, George, Ringo, and the poster. There it is. There's my White Album poster. So I'm gonna have a really hard time putting this away, but I love how chaotic it is. What a great poster. What an awesome poster to put with such a varied album as the White Album. And then Yellow Submarine is an original press. Abbey Road, this is a 1995 limited edition reissue. I'll show you, because this is when Capitol got the rights to release all their albums in the States, even the Apple ones, so got a white background, this Apple does, with the Capitol. Also, I do want to make a couple corrections to some previous statements in the previous video, which I'm just catching up with. So in the previous video about Abbey Road, I said Abbey Road, which we got at Hastings, and this was a remaster, the 2009 remaster. It wasn't the remaster. This was the 1995 limited edition reissue. We did get it at Hastings, though. And in the previous video about Hey Jude, I said, Hey Jude, which is an original press. It's not. You can tell because it also has the Gold Record Award stamp on it. You couldn't see it in the other video because I was being stupid. It's the 80s repress because it has the purple label. Okay, so about McCartney 1. In the previous video, I said McCartney 1, which is an original press. This is not an original press. The original press came on the Apple label. This is on a Capitol label, and it's black with gray text, silver text, which means this is the 1976 repress. Let It Be is an original press, though. I will give myself that. Not everything had to be an original press, but a lot of these are indeed old records approaching their 50s, so Let It Be is an original press, which... Something that's very interesting, which is a regional difference across the UK and the US releases, is mine has a gatefold. Mine has a gatefold, and yours probably doesn't, because you got the 2012 reissue that is supposed to replicate the UK release. Now, the UK release was originally released with a book. Parlogram Auctions did the video on that. Once again, you gotta go watch his channel. Let me put this back in the sleeve. And this is Let It Be. This is an original press with a red Apple label as opposed to the usual green. I don't know what I was doing. So, the green Apple label was relative to the UK releases, and the red Apple was relative to the US and some other parts of the world. RAM, USA original press. Okay, 1962 to 1966 is an original press, and not... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think I forgot to put... I probably forgot to put post-it notes on a couple of these, so I'm sorry. But, like, I know this is a different pressing because it's later, because this one has the Capitol on it, and that one has the Apple on it. So this probably a late 70s repress. And Living in the Material World is an original press. Now, I don't think I knew in the other video, in the older video, I don't think I knew which ones are originals, but I'm pretty sure all of these are originals except for a few. We'll get to those. Band on the Run, original. Goodnight Vienna, original. Okay, here's another one that I got recently. Shaved Fish, which is the 78 repress with a purple Capitol label. Best of George Harrison, original, which I'm very pleased to say is still in its original cellophane. Wings at the Speed of Sound original, which I'm also pleased to say hype sticker present, because there it is. Ringo's Rotogravure is the correct pronunciation, and it's original. No magnifying glass included, because I heard somewhere that might not be true, but I heard somewhere that a lot of pressings of this album came with a magnifying glass. So, presumably so that you could read the text on the back. Okay, here's another one that I got recently, 33 and the Third, which is the 2017 Europe repress, hype sticker present, because there it is. My sister got this for me from the Barnes & Noble website. Okay, now, Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl, 77 original, London Town original. The cover is not in the best condition. It was falling apart. Yeah, so Wings Greatest is a UK import and is the original. Now, in the previous video, I said Wings Greatest. This is a UK import, by the way. This has a different track listing than the US version, I think. So this has Another Day on it, and also, because I'm not sure what the differences are on the US and UK versions of Wings Greatest, but what was I thinking? What was I thinking when I said that? I probably had a lot too much on my mind, and indeed I still do, but let's get the record straight, folks. There are no track list differences between the different pressings of the Wings Greatest album. This track list is congruent to the US original. Rarities is also UK import, original 2 EMI box. What that means is, if we take it out of the sleeve here, 1 EMI box, 2 EMI box. That's literally what it means. Okay, excuse me while I put this back. The Beatles' first live recordings from Pickwick Records is an original press, because I think they only made this once. Back to the Egg, original. McCartney 2, this is an East German pressing. I didn't realize it until now, but this is on the Odeon label, which was the EMI affiliate label that put the Beatles albums out in the Eurasian supercontinent. And now I'm going to put it back. Okay. Rarities, the US version, which is also original. Heart Play, Unfinished Dialogue, is the 83 special edition with a letter from Yoko. Now, this letter from Yoko actually came with all copies of the album. Here it is. This is what I'm talking about here. This came with all copies of the album. Tug of War, original. Give My Regards to Broad Street soundtrack, original. Cloud 9, original. Past Masters, which I got more recently, is the 2012 remastered German press, hype sticker present. There's the hype sticker. And there's also Made in Germany. I love Past Masters. I don't know about you, but Past Masters is pretty underrated in the Beatles catalog, if I do say so myself. Live at the Hollywood Bowl, 2016. This is technically original. I received this in 2017. And McCartney 3 is, I put 3 on these this time because it's the third one, so I had to do 3. And also because, I was running out of the orange sticky notes, so I put the pink ones on. USA original, standard black vinyl variant. I do know that there have been some Target exclusive, Best Buy exclusive, Indie exclusive, different colored vinyl variants, but I have the black vinyl variant and hype sticker present, because this one's special to me anyway, just because I got it on December 21st, 2020, or sometime around then, which was less than a week after the album came out. So those are all of them, okay? And I am so happy to finally get that done, because aside from a VHS copy of Help that I also got recently, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all there is to say on the Beatles, which means I can take you to another highlight of my collection, the Frank Zappa collection. We'll go into that now. Okay. Records, CDs, DVD, tapes. We'll go through them. Let's start with the DVD and tapes. 200 Motels. What a great movie. Ringo Starr is in it. I thought that was so cool. And I have it on DVD. Apostrophe on 8-track from Disc Records. And Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch on cassette tape from Barking Pumpkin Records. I don't have an 8-track player, but there's my cassette player and recorder, and I can play DVDs pretty much anywhere. So, shall we start with the CDs before we move on to the main mamas? Freak Out, the first Zappa CD I ever got. First Zappa album I ever listened to, even. Absolutely free. Check that out. £7.99. I'm not gonna say whether any of these are imports, though. But, oh, I can tell you. This is the Zappa 2012 Universal CD with the 85 mixes. Pardon me if I nerd out. This is the 1995 Rykodisc version with the digital reverb on it. Lumpy Gravy, this is the 2012 CD with the original mix on it. We're Only in It for the Money, the 2012 CD with the original mix on it. Reuben and the Jets, the 1995 CD with the 84 mixes on it. Uncle Meat, the 2012 CD with the 87 mixes and the 3 penalty tracks on it. Hot Rats is the Rykodisc CD with the new mixes and the extended version of the Gumbo variations on it. Weasels Rip My Flesh is the 1990 Rykodisc CD and also has some extended tracks. Baby Snakes is the 80s Barking Pumpkin CD. Frank Zappa Meets the Mothers of Prevention is the Rykodisc CD, and Have I Offended Someone is the Rykodisc CD. Okay. Did we breeze through those? I think we breezed through those. Now we're moving on to the records. Freak Out is the original Verve release, and my copy of Absolutely Free doesn't have a sleeve. It does now because I made one. It's custom and only one exists, which means it's special for me, but, you know, it's just like the poor man's equivalent, I guess. But I even did the track list and credits. So that way I could have like a Uncle Meat. I don't have every Zappa album on vinyl, as you can tell. This is going to be a quicker section than my Beatles, if you can't already tell. Uncle Meat, this is the original Bizarre press. Mother Mania, this is the 2019 Record Store Day release with the hype stickers. The asterisk of the Mothers is the original Verve press from 1969. Hot Rats is the 2019 Record Store Day release with pink vinyl and both hype stickers. Burnt Weenie Sandwich is the original Bizarre press. This is a compilation that Warner Brothers put out called Alternatives, and it has a Weasels Rip My Flesh song, the cover of Little Richard's Directly From My Heart to You on it. Chunga's Revenge is a reprise press, which I think the originals were the originals pressed on Bizarre or Reprise? I'll have to check that. Maybe in my 2023 update video. Fillmore East, June 1971 is a reprise press. 200 Motels soundtrack is the French import, interestingly enough. As you can see, everything's in French. You can't see, but, well, sort of. Just Another Band from LA is the reprise press. Overnight Sensation is the original Discreet Records press. Studio Tan is the Discreet Records press. And Joe's Garage is an original Zappa Records press. You can't do that on stage anymore. Sampler is the 2020 Record Store Day release that I talked about in the previous one. Whew. Okay, I'm glad I got that out of my system. No longer have to live in fear or guilt of that other one being wrong ever again, because now I can just simply say, oh yeah, I corrected it with this one. All that being said, peace and love, everyone.
Excuse me.